Have some grace for yourself in your life. Allow the things that are no longer serving you to fall off of you like ashes, as if you were a phoenix being reborn once again. Because in reality, when you're a human living in this third dimensional reality with a third dimensional mentality, trying to develop a sixth dimensional mentality or a fifth dimensional mentality, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall off the road where you're driving. You're going to take a misstep. In fact, you might hit the brick wall 1,000 times. You might hit the brick wall 100,000 times. But what matters is that you get back up and you start to get back on that road. You start challenging the same things you was challenging. Start challenging the beliefs that you were previously challenging. Start to go on that path that you're afraid to go on. And it's okay. You're going to make mistakes. But the most important thing is to have grace for yourself and to allow yourself to just accept making mistakes. Because the problem isn't in making mistakes. The problem is not having enough grace to accept that, okay, you made that mistake, but next time, how can you do better? How can you create better results for yourself? Because if you know you're making mistakes in your life, but you're constantly repeating that pattern, okay, that's going to look like a little bit like insanity. And eventually, you're going to start to be very negative to yourself because you know you're not changing yourself. So the goal is to allow yourself to change. The goal is allow yourself to flow freely and effortlessly. And we do that by not being obsessed over the small, minor details that we call mistakes. Because the details are just showing us, okay, look, there's this detail that you got to change about how you go about that. Let's say you're an MMA fighter and you're fighting every day in the cage, but you're not changing, you're not adapting, you're not being mutable and adaptable, like the mutable signs in astrology. You're not being mutable and adaptable to what's going on in your environment. So if you're not going to be mutable and adaptable, then you're going to find yourself in a position where, because the world's not going to mutate and adapt to you. And for the most part, you have to mutate and adapt to the world. Because I haven't seen the weather doesn't adapt and mutate to you. The people is not going to adapt and mutate to you. But guess what? You can adapt and mutate to your environment. And you can also apply other modalities like you being fixated on what you initiated, on what you was cardinally initiating into your life. So, there's a lot of things that go into it. But most importantly is don't feel bad. Don't be obsessed over the small, minor details and mistakes that you made. Just because you haven't done this thing like that guy on TV, or you're not able to do that thing like your friend over there. Remember, guys, always have grace, have mercy, have compassion, have love for yourself. That's part of loving yourself, is allowing yourself to make these mistakes, because that's okay. These mistakes are building up to the big finale, to that sale you've been trying to make, to that art piece that you're looking to make, to that speech that you're scared of making. All these are just little steps. We're creating a little ladder to get to that final goal. But if you choose to obsess over the mistakes, and instead of you climbing a ladder, you're going to take 2-3 steps on top of that ladder, then you're going to create a black hole, a hole for yourself, and you're going to jump in that hole, and you're going to look at the walls that you built around you, and you're going to be like, yeah, this is my life. I get stuck in doing things. I don't know what to do about my life. But you have the keys, you have the power, you have the ability to influence your life infinitely, more than you could possibly even comprehend. Because all it takes is a thought, all it takes is a feeling, and all it takes is creating a belief to challenge your current state of mind so you can go further beyond the limitations and the boundaries of the beliefs that you have already currently set. But we have to allow ourselves to have grace and have mercy for ourselves. Real shit.